So I saw this video, New York Times writer realizes women have destroyed men. I love the word realizes. Like, did it take a eureka moment, a light bulb moment to realize what happened? There's literally a trend that was huge not too long ago called kill all men. There was even an even more recent trend where women were literally asked, would you rather be stuck alone in the woods with a man or a bear? And most of them that were posted on social media were saying that they'd rather be alone in the woods with a bear, which would kill them and eat their flesh. Men, where have you gone? Please come back. You guys pushed us away. Respectfully, I love women. I do. The fact that there's no clue, like the cluelessness here is ridiculous. Like, are we serious? You have no idea where we've gone? You literally, like, a lot of modern women that are on social media, the loudest voices, were the ones basically shunning men and shaming men, putting us in a fucking corner where we were just left to our own vices.
So this was going around for the other day. An article published in the New York Times. Men, where have you gone? Please come back. So many men have retreated from intimacy, hiding behind firewalls and filters and curated personas, dabbling and scrolling. We miss you. Oh, well, that's a very interesting thing to say, because the question is, why have they done this? And I'm not saying that the person who wrote this, Rachel Drucker, is in any way ill-intentioned or anything like that. It's just very interesting how what she's asking for and what she is directly in conflict. So what feminism and women have done.
Yeah, so there's another thing I've seen where women are basically complaining that men don't cold approach anymore, right? Men, you know, I'm walking and I don't know why I don't get approached by men anymore and stuff like that. I've seen these videos where women basically complain that in a cold environment, which is just where it refers to an environment where you are not familiar with the person you're approaching, that it's not being used anymore, right? You know, why aren't men just going up to women and striking up conversation and stuff, right? Because the same thing that is being said about that is that it shouldn't happen when it's some guy who's ugly and he gets posted on social media because he has bad riz. Okay, so it's either like you want this thing and you'll take the bad with it, or you can't have it. Like, it's really, you can't pick and choose what you get. You either get men being comfortable with approaching women, and as a result there are some awkward guys and there's some epic fails, okay, or you get nothing at all.
And the effect that it has had on men that they didn't care about until the actually not
true, I get approached by men. The man installing my water heater asked me out while in my home filled with my wedding photos. LMAO, these men don't give no fucks. Yeah, but what you're saying is that the guy who is, he's installing a water heater? Yeah, that guy's like 30 years old, in his like late 20s. We're talking about guys that are from 18 to 25, okay? The men who have been raised on social media, on the For You page generation. Like, this is what we're referring to.
Negative necessarily, but just the consequences of their own actions and their own choices have come about. And so now they're looking at a world without the men that they sought to supplant, and they're saying, well, okay, but why aren't they here? Why aren't they a part of our lives that we wanted while we were having everything? And it's like, well, that's because you can't have everything, actually. Some things come at a price, and you decided that you weren't going to pay the price for one thing, and the result of that disappeared elsewhere. So anyway, she talks about how she's out on a date with someone called Troy. They've known each other for 20 years. Apparently they met at Playboy, learning how to be pornographers, which, okay, I believe it. But anyway, she says that she's out on this date, or ish, with him. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. But she says, that night we made the effort. Still, what I saw unfolding around us felt like something else entirely. A collective shift that I couldn't see. It started to become clear the previous April when a man who had been pursuing me cancelled dinner at the last minute. There was a scheduling mix-up with his son's game. I understood, I'm a hockey mum, I get it. Still, I went, I wore what I would have worn anyway, I took the table I ordered well, and I watched the room. Only 2 tables nearby seemed to hold actual dates. The rest were groups of women or women alone, each one occupying her space with quiet confidence. No shrinking, no waiting, no apologising. That night marked something, not a heartbreak but an unveiling, a sense that what I'd been experiencing wasn't just personal misalignment but something broader, cultural, a slow vanishing of presence.
Yeah, that's actually really well said. A culturally non-present world where people are just on their own. I mean, it's sort of just isolation, right? I mean, like how people are isolated in their day-to-day lives because of what's happening with like how mainstream social media is. And I mean, I can attest to this, okay? I stream, I make YouTube videos. None of my life that I make money off of requires me to go outside. I could truthfully never leave my office space and I could be financially set. I could order every meal. I could sleep here, eat here. I could do push-ups here. I would go crazy, but in terms of a, could it happen sustainability standpoint, I could do it, right? And I think that the issue is that this observation is an interesting one because we've reached a almost interesting point where it used to be, think about kindergarten. Men and women don't get along. Women have cooties, or boys and girls don't get along, I should say. Girls have cooties, whatever, right? And then it's supposed to be that when you're an adult, that it goes the opposite way, right? And now it's just the same. Now men are kind of scared of women, and it feels to me like women, it's gotten better, but from earlier on in the 2020s, we're very much not into men from lots of cultural shifts we had seen, the uglification meta where women were just making themselves hideous on social media, kill all men, man bear, all of these things. And so it's kind of come around, which you can see with this article, but I don't know when it's going to actually change, where it's going to largely be against what she's written here.
She carries on, talking about in the sort of world of pornography, there's no need for conversation, no effort, no curiosity, no reciprocity. No one's feelings to consider, no vulnerability to navigate, just a closed loop of consumption. What struck me most wasn't the extremity of the content, but the emotional vacancy behind it. The way many men had quietly withdrawn from intimacy and vulnerability, not with violence or resistance, but with indifference. It's not indifference, but anyway. They weren't sitting across from someone on a Saturday night trying to connect. They were scrolling, dabbling, disappearing behind firewalls, filters, and curated personas. And while they disappeared, women continued to gather, to tend, to notice who wasn't arriving and to show up anyway. I'm 54, I've been dating since the mid-80s and been married, been mother, gotten divorced, had many relationships, long and short. I remember that when part of the heterosexual male culture involved showing up with a woman to signal something. Status, success, desirability. Women were once signifiers of value, even to other men. It wasn't always healthy, but it meant men had to show up and put in some effort. That dynamic has quietly collapsed. We have moved into an era where many men no longer seek women to impress other men or to connect across difference. They perform elsewhere alone. They've filtered us out.
Interesting.
Now that is just fascinating to me. That is an absolutely fascinating thing. So we'll go through this in a bit more detail now. Because again, this is just, you get what you deserve, right? You asked for it, you campaigned for it, you altered the structure of the economy and the reality that we live in to make it happen, and then you're looking at the consequence and go, well, hang on a second, how is this happening to us? And it's like, yeah, how indeed? Like, it's genuinely incredible. So you've got this.
What I believe this is, I think she's 100% right. I think what she believes when she writes that men view men with women as having achieved something that was hard to do as impressive, right? Okay, that's true. But we now look at what you can replace that with. It's basically what the modern meta is. Because if you look at, like, let's just say there's a guy with like a girl, right? Let's look at that, right? Okay, back in 2010 or something like that. That's like, oh my God. He's got bitches, he's got hoes, this guy's a fucking player. But from how, let's just say, the male opinion of modern women has decreased with just things in general, like OnlyFans and Instagram and social media, right? Women just whoring themselves out. The achievement that you accomplish by getting a woman, just in general, just based on looking at a guy with a girl, it's just seen as less, right? Obviously, depending on if you know the guy, and let's just say it's your friend and his girl, and you like his girl, and you know that she's good to your friend, that's a different scenario. But I feel like in general, without dogging on women too much, especially if you also look at not just how the internet has made women behave, let's just say, far more promiscuous and attention-seeking in lots of ways. I also feel like when you look at the attitudes that men and women share, there's just a lot less in common. So, especially compared to like the 2000s, right? And so if you just had a girl in the 2000s and you're like, oh my God, that guy's got a girl, it's like, holy shit, like he has a girl. And a girl, being a girl, having a girl, it had different connotations than it does now, right? Because what you can expect of women now in general is different than what you could have expected of them in the 2000s, right? And having those expectations in the 2000s, what generally would have been true of a woman were better qualities than they are now. And so that's why it's less impressive. That's just the truth. Nowadays, if you see a guy with a girl, you may think, okay, yeah, he definitely had to accomplish something to get that girl, but you don't even know if it's worth it for him, right? We don't even know. Realistically, is that guy getting his dick sucked? We don't even know. Maybe she's fucking celibate to make some point against SCOTUS. Maybe she doesn't cook for him. Maybe he cleans. Maybe he's fucking cucked, right? We don't know anymore. Like the general assumptions you could have made 10, 20 years ago, you can't make now.
The rest were the groups of women alone, each occupying a space with quiet confidence. No.
Yeah, maybe she pegs him. Like, look at fucking iDubbbz. It's like, I don't look at him as this some guy he's gotten a girl. No.
Shrinking, no waiting, no apologizing. No consideration, right? I love the feminist occupying space. Trust me, women have always occupied space. That's never...
Like, I'm not even joking. That's part of why Andrew Tate, his look was so much different than, like, if you think of the Andrew Tate sort of, like, masculine figure of previous decades. Andrew Tate's focus was really not about women. It really wasn't about having a bunch of hoes. Like, that was something that he said. But most of the photos of him or whatever, most of what his aesthetic was he had cars, right? It was materialism. Cars, houses, watches, you know, freedom, really, boats, this sort of stuff. And so that value, the value of a sports car hasn't changed over 10, 20 years. The value of a woman actually has. So it sounds evil or rude to say, but it's generally true among, if you ask people, it's true. Ask your parents. If you're a young guy, ask your parents, okay? Like the average quality of person, really on both sides, right? But with, I think, women, specifically if you ask your dad, he'll say, yeah, you know, it's way different than now. It's true. What color is your Bugatti? Yeah, exactly. That's what he was.
I mean, never...
Serious question, if a man and a woman both work full-time, is it still the woman's job to cook and clean? Yeah, of course. 100%. That to me is something that is a secondary role in the relationship that you should 100% have that sorted out, because there's going to be secondary roles that men have and women have. I think of secondary roles for men as like, let's look at like assembling shit, okay? You buy a bunch of furniture and someone needs to set it up. It's going to be the guy's job to set it all up, okay? Well, now there's like empty bags and garbage that's left. Okay, well then whose job is it to like sweep up all the garbage? The women, okay? I don't think that's controversial at all, actually. So,
been in doubt. But they're all just sat on their own, being alone, as in you don't need anything from the men. You've got your quiet confidence. You're not shrinking, you're not waiting, not apologizing. The men are irrelevant. This is actually the attitude of men. This is the kind of attitude that you want in a man who is confident in himself, in his own person, who is not on the back foot constantly, and who is capable of handling things, right? That's what the kind of man the culture used to produce. Now it's the kind of woman the culture.
I mean, I think a lot of it is cultural for sure, but it would be silly to have this conversation without mentioning the economic reality of the modern life and how expensive it is to do shit. Like, as a guy, are you really going to take a girl out to dinner and pay for the bill for a woman that you don't even have any idea if it will work out with, when the not only opportunity cost of going on the date when you could have been doing something else, but the literal cost of it is fucking ridiculously expensive? I just don't know if that's worth it, because you have to think about the fact that you're spending anywhere from, depending on what city you live in, if you're in a big city, you're looking at anywhere from $50 to $100 a person. Nah, that's probably on the more expensive side. Maybe like about $50 to $60 a person. So you're looking at, with tip, like $150, $120, right? And it's like, realistically, are you able to take that risk for a woman that you don't even know if you'll ever see again? I don't know. And if you don't, then it's like, what are you going to ask her to go to the cheaper place and look like the fucking cheap guy? It's just, it's tough.
It produces. Well, that's all well and good, but men aren't looking for this. Right? This is not what men want. And so you can be like quietly confident, occupying space all you want, but you're going to do it on your own. And this is what this article is about. A vanishing of presence. Not interested in it. I wouldn't go out with a woman who was like this. Why would I? What does she need from me? Why would I feel necessary to her? How would I feel needed? Like, this is not what I would be looking for in a woman, like, at all. And so it's crazy how 54 years in, and you're like, God, where have
it went from, I don't need no man, to, okay, maybe I do need a man. Come back, please.
all the men gone all of a sudden? They used to want things from us.
Strong, independent women realizing that their strength and independence has led them to actually desire men.
So
It's almost like there's a biological need.
yeah, because you used to want things from them. And now it's just, I'd just like you to be here. It's like, okay, but I don't have to be. And that doesn't satisfy what I'm looking for. So I'm not going to be. Right? Again, I love this. No effort, no curiosity, no reciprocity, no one's feelings to consider. And so the emotional disconnect. Now, this is something that is just really, really interesting because she thinks it's been done with indifference. That's not true. I think for a lot of men that the withdrawal into themselves has been done with a kind of quiet heartbreak.
Yeah.
And just a genuine sadness, right? It looks probably from the outside like indifference, right?
Yeah. I honestly don't think that men are just sort of like, okay, well, I guess that I'll just do my own thing, right? No, it's very intentional. It's very on purpose that men are not specifically pursuing dating like they were in previous decades or generations, whatever. This is not like an indifference thing that's been created because men just don't care about women as much. It's definitely due to the fact that it has to do with societal conditions largely.
Probably does look like indifference, where these men just end up ghost. I mean, she talks about how she's been ghosted, right? She's been ghosted on this date. So, again, to her, it just kind of looks like...
and it could be indifference. I'm not saying for everyone it is not indifference. It certainly could be.
Just they're not interested.
Like if there's some guy who like plans a date with you and then doesn't show up, maybe he doesn't even not want to date you. He just is like, whatever, fuck, I don't really want to go. Like he's just too bored or doesn't necessarily feel like he really wants to. Like, I mean, that could totally be a thing for some person, but I'm talking in general.
Interested. But what it is that you're not really interested in them. Right? That's the issue. You have all of the things that men used to give to women are not needed by you. You have your own money, you have your own security, you have your own job, you have your own house, you have your own everything. So you don't really need anything from us, right? So why would I want to be a part of it? I want to be wanted. I want to be needed. Like part of my raison d'etre as a man is to provide for my family. Part of why I do anything.
Yeah, I'm going to say something controversial. What he's saying is why a lot of guys prefer younger women. Like, I think men wanting to be wanted can manifest in the form of giving a woman a lot of their first special experiences. It's not a euphemism. I literally mean, like, the first time, I've never been to a dinner this expensive before. Like, something like that. Because if a woman is, like, you know, maybe 30 or something like that, there's a lot, I mean, it's going to take a lot to impress her. And so, you know, the younger a woman is, obviously, completely, like, this is not a euphemism for anything, but like around maybe like 21, 22, if you're like 25 or 26 dating a 21 or 22 year old, maybe some people might think that that's an inappropriate age gap. I don't think that is at all. I mean, every single person who I know's parents have that age gap, if not way worse. The reason for that is because when you've reached a level, like the older you are as a man, the more you have, usually, like money-wise, experience-wise. And so you're able to give younger women a certain experience that is unique that they haven't had before. You will feel an appreciation that you yearn for. That appreciation is something that everyone wants to feel.
Men used to give to women are not needed by you. You have your own money, you have your own security, you have your own job, you have your own house, you have your own everything. So you don't really need anything from us, right? So why would I want to be a part of it? I want to be wanted. I want to be needed. Like part of my raison d'etre as a man is to provide for my family. Part of why I do anything, why I bother getting up in the morning, is because I know there are people relying on me and you don't rely on anyone. And so from your point of view, these men who are just like, yeah, I'm just not going to bother. Just not going to bother. She doesn't do it for me. I mean, if she's into me...
My dad is 9 to 10 years older than my mom. Yeah, don't tell Twitter. Don't tell Twitter about that one.
It's in a kind of...
The Twitter age gap discourse is so cancer. Like, it's ridiculously cancer. It's actually crazy how people don't understand. There are certain age gaps that, like, they sound really bad, but if you actually think about what that looks like in the long run, it's really not. Like, people who think, like, bro, like, people who think, like 25 and 35, like, that's fucking crazy. That's not even that crazy. Like, I'm 21. In 5 years, if there was a 35-year-old baddie, it's not off the table. It just isn't. And so I don't know why that's just like, 10 years. All right. We're all adults here.
Personal vanity way. Like, They say
What's the biggest age gap you'd take? I mean, I don't really know. I mean, like I'm 21. I probably like max. Ooh, that's a tough one, man. Maybe like 32, 30.
male culture used to be showing up with a woman signal something. Almost what it feels like for you to say, well, why aren't the men showing up? Like, we were supposed to be signaling something. And it's like, okay, but you're signaling to a room full of other women who are heterosexual and lonely and sat alone on their in having their own dinners or whatever.
I'm not saying it's a preference. I'm just saying it's not like off the table.
That also was,
but it most likely is, because this is what happens. It's like, you get this. Oh, you're such a baby. So that's why that never happens.
Something that women signaled, right?
She wants cougars. Okay.
I've got a high status man. My husband earns lots of money, blah blah blah, and so they could feel better than the other women, frankly. But this isn't. There's no masculine competition. Well, not no, but the lack of masculine competition is what you're asking, and it's because men have been dethroned from their position as the breadwinner.
True.
If you're not going to let them be the masculine patriarch of a household, why would I bother signaling value? Because what difference does it make?
Yeah.
And this isn't about...
Because it's like you're showing off something that is not even worth showing off to men. It's like, oh, you're showing off that what? Like, you haven't even, like, accomplished anything anymore. It's, like, not even an accomplishment.
This isn't about you. This is about... Well, it is... That's not true. It is about you. But it's about something you don't realize that you've done. And by saying, no, we need to be the equals of men, we need to have affirmative action for women, we need women, girl bosses everywhere. Okay, well, this is the consequence, because you've turned yourself into men, right? That's all you're doing, is turning yourself into providers. We're not looking for providers. We're looking for the people who want to be provided for.
Yeah.
And so now she is left lamenting the culture that feminism created. Look at this.
By the way, I don't think anyone thinks that women shouldn't have jobs or they shouldn't work at all. But there's something about like a CEO position or like a high-ranking women in the workforce for some like white-collar job. It's like, okay, I don't know about all that, Maybe some people think that's like cool, especially if you're like into the same thing. But I mean, for me, it's like that's a little too much. That to me would be like something where I mean, not only are you constantly swamped with like PowerPoints and stuff, you gotta like do trips to the office and stuff, but I mean it's also like nothing I could do would impress anymore. It's like, oh, that's cute, you're doing your stream, okay, I'm gonna go to the fucking ivory tower and climb the corporate ladder and be making like triple your money. It's like, okay, it is emasculating, like truth be told it is. And if that's something, and women want to like use that against people, you'll notice that it's like, oh, someone's got fragile masculinity. It's like, well, actually it's the opposite. I'm very aware of it. I'm aware of the fact that I would not like someone to be making triple my money, because it would make me feel useless and I would be able to not impress someone. And I just don't understand how that is like fragile at all. If anything, it just shows that you want to be useful to people, that you want to be appreciated. I don't think that's fragile. My ex actually came to me to gloat about her OnlyFans to me. True story. Sounds like she's probably trying to flirt with you or get you to be jealous.
Women were once signifiers of value, even to other men. It wasn't always healthy, but it meant men had to show up and put in some effort. That's right. It wasn't always healthy. A lot of the time, it could be quite chauvinistic. But it provided something you didn't realize you wanted until you lost it. And now it's gone, and now you don't know what to do. Now you're writing articles in the New York Times saying, men, can you please go on dates with us? I was like, why would I? Why would I want to? Like, what's the reason? Like, genuinely tell me why I would need to. You don't need me, and therefore, why do I need you? This bit, is just really interesting. That dynamic has quietly collapsed. It wasn't that quiet. It was to the sound of screeching harpies going, feminism, patriarchy, manspreading, and all this other bullshit. Me too, right? That got into, okay, well, men are not going to seek to impress women or other men with women, or connect across the difference. Like, they perform elsewhere alone, they've filtered us out. Yeah, you made yourself not really very appealing, frankly, right? The world you created isn't the world that men wanted, and the world men wanted had something in it that you found desirable.
Ooh.
But instead, you decided to weaponize the power of female victimhood to recreate the world in an image you thought was desirable, and in your arrogance and your hubris, you didn't realize that you failed to create a position of honor for men.
Yeah. I mean, this is just on the money. This is literally on the money. 100, like he's literally, he's completely right. In the ideal world that was being pushed for, there would have been nothing of value for men to offer. And now that men feel like they have nothing of value to offer, they're doing their own thing. They're not even offering anything, okay? Very well said. It's the sad truth. And it's just like, you know, if you don't want to have men be breadwinners or have men be approaching women or doing anything like that, then how can you be mad when they give up by their own?
In fact, the entire feminist movement was about dethroning men from their position of honor and giving that to women. And now there's no honor for a man to be gained by doing any of these things.
Yeah.
They don't do them. So they've
That's
filtered
true.
you out. Why wouldn't I?
Well, it's also the guys who do shit like this, like working, for example, or getting jobs. I don't know what he's referring to here, but they just get jobs for money, right? It's like no one gets a job to impress a woman, you know? And some people who have, like, you know, jobs, I feel like it's not like you brag about it as much to women anymore.
Why would I bother? Like, I would find more respect in a Call of Duty chat room than I would going on a date with a feminist woman. At least if I came top of the scoreboard, don't get me wrong, I'm not a Call of Duty player. I'm not going to come top of the bloody scoreboard, especially at my age. But at least then you can brag. At least you have some bragging rights in that. That's something.
Yeah, I mean, let's just say some of my greatest accomplishments are my Steam inventory. You know, it's a beautiful and it's still growing collection of digital items that hold real life value. And I will say, the boys, I show them my inventory. I'm like, check out this Gamma Doppler Nomad knife. And they're like, ooh, that's pretty sexy. It's like the scene in American Psycho where they're showing their business cards. That's how I feel.
You've achieved that other people didn't. What am I getting from this? Like, seriously, what is the appeal that she thinks that she's putting out there? She carries on and says, look, I recently experienced a flicker of possibility with James. We met on a dating app. There was something mutual from the start, wordplay. So she's looking for, like,
Dude, Raya is this app. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I tried to get on there like 2 or 3 years ago. It's like this app for famous people to not date normies or something. It's like high income famous people where you basically you submit your thing to like the Raya executives and they look over your stuff and they determine how rich and famous you are and they either approve you or they deny you. I never heard back, but it's used for not actual celebrities, maybe a few, probably men, but it's usually used by like these like mid-tier kind of washed up or niche celebrities like you know, YouTubers or something like that. And yeah, it's interesting to hear about Raya. I forgot that app even existed, but
you know, the fleeting connections that matter. And she thinks, okay, well,
we need
maybe
to get
the sexual tension.
We need to get Asmongold on Raya.
There, blah blah blah. But he ends up ghosting her. Okay, well, there we go. Obviously, you were just doing this for you, right? You're like, oh, I wanted to create a spark, excitement. But maybe he's looking for something else, right? And I'm sure all of these men who have ghosted you, and it seems like I've known dozens, like, you're not providing them with vulnerability themselves. You're like, oh, why aren't men vulnerable with us? Well, why aren't you? Why are you a strong, independent woman who takes up space? Like, what? Why would I want to spend my time with that? Like, where is your vulnerability that I can take care of, that I can be the active partner in the relationship? And you're just sat there going, well, I guess I don't know what's going on. You know, and she even laments that, like, one-night stands used to at least have some human connection, but now we've built so many boundaries and we've walled off the very moments that make connection memorable. Yeah, you don't understand what feminism has done to men, right? You've literally gelded, as C.S. Lewis put it, and bid the geldings be fruitful. You've taken away their manliness, and now you're saying, why aren't you just going to be manly with us?
Yeah, I mean, I think I got the gist of this video, and it's a great, it's a great point. Let's see the top comment: men destroyed, women most affected. The princess is a lesbian girl boss. The gold gets taxed at 99.9%. Barbarians, why am I... Okay. The abusive partner asking to come back. Having a woman by your side used to be an asset. Now it's a liability. True! You, sir, have won the internet. Oh, man. Oh, wow. I mean, I never thought about it like that. Yeah. I mean, he's right. He's kind of cooking, huh?